Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome to Islanders and New Shores, and I am so happy that this game exists because, as you may or may not recall, the original Islanders came out back in 2019, a relaxing and minimalistic city builder, and I adored it. That was just such a relaxing game to play. And now there's another one, New Shores, link in the description below because, spoiler warning, this one's actually rather good. But anyway, I think they've done the smartest thing they could do, which is clearly they've sat down and said, okay, so we all agree we knocked it out of the park first time with the first Islanders, so for the new one, basically, we're gonna make that, but bigger, better, prettier, and more, and oh, I am so excited to be playing this. But one thing I do need to properly declare, though hopefully it's already extraordinarily clear, this here is a sponsored video because the folks over at CodeSync, this game's publisher, reached out to me and offered me a giant pile of money to play it. Which was not a decision on their part, given I probably would have played it at some point anyway, but I'm never gonna say no to a giant pile of free money. So okay, let's just dive on in because as I say, I'm just delighted that Islanders got a sequel. So, at its core, this is, just like the original, a chilled out city builder, meaning you don't need to be worrying about, resources, money, how happy your population is, anything of that nature. Everything starts out nice and chill and simple. So, all we do is select what we want to build, either a brewing pack or a seaweed pack. This just determines what buildings I'm going to be given. And now I've got these buildings, I can put them down anywhere I want to. However, it is still very important to consider what the right spot might be. Because buildings in this game score points, and points are largely determined by adjacency. They want to be next to some things, but not next to others. So in theory, I could put this here seaweed farm on top of a mountain, but that probably wouldn't score many points. Instead, okay, putting it in the water, that strikes me as a good idea, but not too close to fish, because the fish like to eat the seaweed or something. So yeah, just popping it right here, on the land, dipping into the water, no fish about, that generates points. And points are important, as I need to fill up this circle to unlock my next pack, and thus gain more buildings. So, okay, over to the seaweed fields here. Obviously, they want to be next to a seaweed farm. So, just slap that right next to the farm there. One more here as well, they also want to be next to each other. So, yeah, that's a nice synergy right there. And there we go, that's enough points to unlock the next building pack. So, that's the absolute basics, though, yeah, as the islands fill up a bit, things could get a bit more complicated. So let's go for another nice simple one just to get some easy points in. On this occasion, yes, we picked the brewing pack, so we got a brewery and some hop fields. Those play basically the same, though yes, sometimes you also get buildings related to other stuff you've already put down. The one thing to be aware of, buildings very often don't want to be too close to buildings of the same type, so that would actually lose me points if I were to put it down there. However, that's not to say that a seaweed farmer couldn't potentially, there we go, share the seaweed field with its neighbour over the water. So that gets me an absolute cocking a ton of points straight away. Would you believe, yes, hop fields want to be next to other hop fields and breweries, though they'd also like to be next to a statue. Now there is a statue here, but this statue is going to be important for many buildings and also ultimately where we want to put down a big old city, so I don't want to be filling up this space with agriculture. So what I'm going to do instead is, yeah, just to pop some of these guys right up here, there we flipping go, and the brewery right up top here. And that is a decent number of points, already most of the way towards the next pack as well. And there we go, the city pack. This is where the real points are going to be coming from. So we're just going to pop a city centre right here in the middle of this lovely big plateau and start surrounding it with buildings. And yeah, this is why cities can get a bit on the sexy side, because as you start taking up building more buildings, even basic houses and mansions can generate huge amounts of adjacencies. So, okay, this mansion would love to be right next to the town hall, so that's fine. You can be right there, my friend. And yeah, houses are very happy to just chill out over here as well. So just pop you right there, with like, you know, the L facing in that direction, so I can squeeze another building right into you there. Lovely. And yeah, houses just want to all hang out together, so... okay, probably best we just rotate you around here a little bit, buddy. That'll work if we can just fit you in. There we go, spot on. So, okay, that's the beginning of our city. Also, John, do not forget the flipping seaweed fields, though this one over here would be, yeah, like 10 points. But I can make 11 by being next to you. So, right, the seaweed bridge continues. Keep on keeping on. Brickmaker or lumber? How many trees do we have floating around these islands? You know what? There are some trees on the nearby islands and some trees on the low ground over here. Let's go for lumber. Because, yeah, if there weren't trees, that wouldn't have been a good pick. Sawmill obviously wants the lumberjack. And the lumberjack just wants as many trees as possible nearby. And this, I think, is the best 14 we can do, not encroaching on the city. We now start building more bits and pieces if we want to, so go on then, and we'll go for a mason as well. And yeah, now suddenly we're stacking more and more flipping buildings here. We can start constructing more mansions next to other mansions. The city starts to grow. Do you mean as well? My city's just released a whole bunch of lovely glowing lanterns. That's because officially I've now completed Tutorial Island. So if I want to, I can just click on the compass down in the bottom right and move on to the next island. But you can just stay here if you want to, as long as you've still got enough points and buildings to keep going. So just slap down some more houses all next to each other over here. Lovely, that's worth a ton of points though. Do bear in mind, sooner or later, more exciting, sexy infrastructure is going to start showing up, and when that happens, it might be useful to have left a bit of an open space where you could put something exciting down. On this occasion, we've just picked up a lighthouse, and, okay, I like the lighthouse, because the lighthouse has got an interesting and new mechanic that I'm pretty sure was not in the original game, which is, what it wants is an uncontested view. And it also would not mind being next to the seaweed farm or the statue, because everything wants to be next to the statue. So, had we not put this thing up here, this might have been... oh, hang on. This wouldn't have been a good spot, because yes, apparently you don't want to be next to mansions or houses. But yes, basically, putting you right on the high ground over here, that's 45 points, because not only is your view uncontested, you're in range of multiple seaweed farms, which you are happy to be in range of. So, just put you right in the centre. That's still a very, very good number of points, and... oh yeah, that'll flip it do. Now we are swimming in buildings, so we've got farming as well. Absolutely, I see no reason why not, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, mills want the same basic thing. In fact, I tell you what, there might be a good spot right here on Lighthouse Island. So, yeah, just to pop you down here. So just to put more hops fields down here. Lovely. And just slap down. And you know what, John? Hold off on the houses for now, because, yeah, there might be some more exciting urban stuff coming in soon. Snap down some more mansions as well. Maybe try and, like, you know, leave a little bit of space somewhere near all the mansions if you can. Oh, and speak of the devil, here we go. The fountain has showed up, so this wants to be next to the centre of town, also loves mansions, loves houses, etc, etc. It's just shoving that in here. 34 points. All by itself. Now we're flipping getting somewhere. Right, a few more buildings go down, and now we're into, you know, new exciting sexy stuff. So, on this occasion, yes, we've got someone who, rather than wanting open space, wants a confined space, doesn't want to be next to the city centre, but wouldn't mind being out in the middle of nowhere next to, say, flowers or blooming trees. And there's some flowers right down here. So if I just put him right at the back over here, hang on, let's get him into a 28 right there, because he's also just in range of the statue. Beautiful. And then masons, who, yeah, wouldn't mind being sort of close to the town centre, but also could sort of cling to the side of cliffs and whatnot, which is very bloody convenient. And as time goes on, new opportunities present themselves to expand your cities a little bit further, so... Number 1, I've got a new city centre, so yeah, I could pick a secondary island or secondary area to have a new city on it, though, in fairness, probably, this beach down here is going to be the best bet anyway. And on top of that, one of the building options is a plateau. So you could start, extending out into the water, building up the side of a cliff, whatever takes your fancy. Oh, and here come more urban McGibbles, so parks coming in. That's going to generate a huge amount of points, though it's unfortunate I haven't left a big hole in the middle of my town, because a park in the centre of town could generate way more points than one just on the edge, though honestly, 17 is just fine. Though I think potentially this could be the end of my city, given... Okay, I'm not sure how we're going to get up to, the next threshold, just with these remaining a few buildings. Like, I can make quite a few points by just putting mansions and whatnot next to the city centre, but... No, I don't think this is going to work. Not a chance, and that's fine. It doesn't mean you've lost. On the contrary, I won long ago. Instead, all we've got now is a completed city, and the freedom to move on to a brand new settlement. And now, as we swish on towards island number 2, we now get a choice. So we can have a temperate landscape, but that also comes with a special building. So if I build the aviary on this island, and then go on to keep building it on subsequent islands, that's just gonna be worth more and more points. So yes, despite the temptation of Fantasy Island and its saunas and whatnot, oh no, we're going for the temperate islands. So okay, the game just creates a couple of interesting islands for me, and... Right. Now this here's rather interesting. We've got some big open beaches, plus some rocky islands that are a bit smaller. But we've certainly got a lot more land to work with here than we had previously. That's delightful. And yes, we've also got that special building available immediately. The problem is, right now, it's not worth anything. Instead, yes, what we need to do is figure out the right point to put this down. So, step 1, begin doing a bit of brewing, absolutely. We could do, some nice farming on the high ground over here. That's all absolutely fine. So pop them next to each other. Pop down a brewery. Nice, easy, a few points to kick us off there. Lovely. And then, okay, you know what? The seaweed worked well last time. And potentially, if I'm allowed to... hang on. Can I put this? I can put this here. Now, there are more fish around in this bit of the world, so be careful of that. But that will do as a starting point. Beautiful. And then just surround you with a whole bunch of lovely seaweed McGibbles. Spot on. And then, of course, it's time for the city. So, okay. City centre probably goes down here on the beach, because this is where the statue is, and city centre and statue together generate a dumb amount of points. And then we just start slapping it down. Mansions, though, do not forget, hang on, you don't want to be next to the city centre. That would actually cost you some points. So, down here could be interesting, or say somewhere over here. Okay, about this bit of the world, just to build out mansions in that direction. And better, we've got lumber coming in again, and that is spot on, because there are so many trees on the various islands around here. We could just, make huge amounts of points very easily with all of this. Right, a few basic houses down, and not only do we have 2 building packs we can claim, but on top of that, we've got our first boon. Yes, these just show up occasionally, and they're rather fun little extra wild cards. So on this occasion, yes, I could pick either to shrink the next building I place, or rather the next 3 buildings I place, by 20%, or alternatively, neighbourly. Next time a building would gain a negative from being next to something, we could just say, actually, no it wouldn't. So, go on then, we'll take a neighbourly. That way we've just got that in our back pocket, in the event that, yes, there's a bad adjacency I'd like to avoid. On top of that, the lighthouse. You've gotta love a lighthouse. So, okay. You put that up here, that's worth a lot of points, though. That's not quite as good, unfortunately, because, it's too close to the town centre. That'll be 32 up here. So 32 anywhere, or it's like, the higher the better. And think 32 is pretty much as good as it gets, so go on then. You can be up here. That's worth a ton of points for free. We've also got another city centre pretty bloody early on, so yeah, I'll put that right here on the beach, just in range of this here seaweed McGibble. So, speaking of which, actually, yeah, what we should do is just put you down here and put another seaweed farm right about here. So, even though that's, yeah, just... Ooh, that's too close to the seaweed McGibble. There we go, that's better. And on top of that, we've got more booms coming in. So, okay, one wall platform, so I can literally convert, yes, a cliffside into an actual bit of city, or just finish the island. Oh no, I'm not even close to done. I'll take the wall platform, thank you. I think possibly I've actually got, yeah, 2 flipping booms. On this occasion, I can either add a statue, or I can add some trees, flowers, or fish, depending on the surface. So, oh, it's gotta be a statue. Oh, and the statue loves nature. So, right, we can put a good statue next to city number 2, and also make a very good 24 points at the same time. Which is also going to mean, yeah, basic houses can make a huge number of points right here. Lovely. Still, we're finally getting into good urban stuff here, because presumably, hang on, fountains. You want fountains as well, so that there is a very good news. Snap in a plus 35 fountain, beautiful. And okay, we've also now got parks coming in, so hang on. Check my special building. Okay, if I position this just right, that's a 13. It's a tiny bit underwhelming, but yeah, I think at this point we need to start building around this gap. Oh, it is fun. We've got a new sort of building coming in. The hut, together with more mansions just coming in too. Oh yeah, the slightly inefficient building we're doing around the outside is a little bit on the worrying side. We've also gone to one plateau here. I mean, just popping that in the ocean here might work very nicely. That's okay. Admittedly, yes, we built all this expansion space for this city, which we're not building because I'm just desperately trying to get this McGibble down. And okay, that hut. City centre, statues, fishers, seaweed farms. So okay, the fact you want the lighthouse suggests a little bit more out in the middle of nowhere. But city centre as well, so, right. You're going to be a bit difficult to score, my friend. Actually, you know what? Right here on this island between the cities, that's a pretty decent 21. Though, oh dear, it just struck me that potentially we're in a little bit of trouble. This mason is not going to be able to do that much, by the way. Yeah, best we could do would maybe be 11 or 9 or something around here. Oh dear. Unfortunately, yes, attempting to build this special building in a special unique spot has possibly not worked out that well. So, 15. 125 is the cap. I've managed 15. That's sad, isn't it? Still, bare minimum, that is built. So there we go. We've now got, you know, one big city over here, which is lovely. Fishing across the bay, 2 plateaus for theoretical future expansion, and a whole bunch of completely untouched trees. So okay, on to the next island. What have we got next, game? Desert. So okay, 2 extra booms to the island score meter, so we're actually going to have more special surprises, and on top of that I'm going to have the guild hall. Alternatively, tundra, which has got no special effects aside from just looking pretty, but I also gain a temple, which can score very highly, but needs me to plan ahead. So, okay, obviously, we're going for the potential mega scoring temple. Oh, and here's interesting. What we've got here is, yes, a much bigger island, together with a whole bunch of wooden plateaus built around the outside. Now, this is interesting. So, okay, just get down some basic fishing infrastructure. City centre, though, okay. There is a statue right here. But beyond that, yeah, that's not the ideal spot to my mind. So, yeah, I'm going to build down in this direction. So, potentially we can work our way up to the statue, but I've still got plenty of space to build out my city. Also, speaking of which, John, maybe pay attention to that temple thing, because... yeah, its base score is -75. So you've got to, like, you know, get a bunch of adjacency before it even actually scores at anything. But okay. Broadly, it just wants to be near as many people as possible. But it doesn't want to be near any industry. Oh, and I tell you what, this might work. So yeah, I've just put a few mansions down next to this thing already. But on top of that, I've just drawn a very early city centre. So if I put you right up here, in range of the statue, just, you know, the far side of it, then yeah, we could start slapping even more mansions down next to the new city centre. We just need to build around these ledges a tiny bit more. Oh, at bare minimum, we have got a spectacular caulking lighthouse here. Plus 47. That is a beautiful lighthouse, thanks to, yes, this tiny rocky island and all of the seaweed down here. Okay, having expanded the city as much as I can, I think we're pretty much at the point of, yes, putting down the temple. Because I've just drawn a park that is conveniently very narrow. So it could just about fit right here. Now we put that there and... oh yeah, plus 53. Like maybe we could squeeze one more park in here if we get lucky. So is there any chance we're going to do that? Because yeah, the mansions are just too big to fit it back here. Like, this plateau has not really worked out in my favour in many ways. Never mind, I'm glad I waited, because we've just got a plateau and even more garden. So, oh yeah, oh flippin' yeah. One more garden. These are not official gardens, but still, at this point I've just been blinded by my need for, yes, that temple. But this plateau, right, that's not a cliff plateau. It's a plateau that presumably goes into, yeah, the water. So yeah, we can get a 17 out of that over here, though honestly it's not going to be useful for building on. However, what I can do is, yeah, build more seaweed farms around that area, just to keep more and more seaweed coming in. Lovely. But yeah, I think we're kind of out of much we can do in terms of making that temple more desirable. And on top of that, we've officially reached the point we were supposed to be reaching. Oh, and hang on. Oh, this is just perfect. I just drew the boon, increase area. Grow the score area of the next building you place by 50%. Holy flip me right, that's gonna help a lot actually. Cause all of a sudden, that is reaching a lot more flipping mansions and parks than it was going to previously, so that's an entire flipping level all by itself. Oh, this game's wonderful. I'm so happy it exists. And that gets me the tower. I don't even care what the tower is. It sounds awesome. So, right, you want to be next to temples, masons, statues, also houses and mansions. So, that also got me an extra lighthouse. Okay, hang on. What's the biggest, tallest, and most remote island we've got going? Because that's a 32 over there. Oh no, we could do a 41 right here, because that's also in range of the seaweed farm, so, oh, we are flipping cooking with gas now. But I also can't help but notice that the next boon I've drawn is duplicate. So if I just toss down every building except the tower... Right, now I've got 2 towers, and I'm guessing you, my friend, are going to be pretty bloody high scoring, so... right. You basically want to be next to functionally everything. So that's 57 points right there. And I've got another one right here. So hang on. Make sure I don't get too close to the other tower. That's a 61. Or was there a... there is a 65 there. But it's not actually on the high ground. It's very important to me. We're on the high ground. So right, I'm willing to take a 61. Oh, this city's getting somewhere. And as a result, we start unlocking a more and more exciting, sexy building. So, for the first time, the warehouse. So basically, yeah, you want to be next to industry. So yeah, there's wood industry over on this island, but not enough to make it worthwhile. And then there's a giant pile of, yeah, mills around here. 26 is pretty good, all things considered. So yeah, we got good 20s around this bit of the world. Go up into the mountains. We're not going to hit 20 over there. And yeah, by the town, that's not doing so much. And well, there would theoretically be a 30 over here. That's too busy, so, yeah. That 26 is going to be about as good as we can do in terms of being right between all the mills and the fishing infrastructure. And now we are swimming in building packs, including flipping taverns and whatnot. Which simultaneously would like to be, yes, next to houses, but not mansions, and yeah, breweries. Okay, remind me, where are my breweries? Because they're not so useful on this map because, yes, it's too cold to actually grow the hops or whatnot. Here we go, I slapped them down here, because yes, I think they gained some adjacency from seaweed, so I think we're like brewing seaweed beer right now. So yeah, if I just put it next to town, that's worth 15 or so. Meanwhile, over here, I can, yeah, get 29 by virtue of having more breweries, but there's no bloody houses, so hold on to that for now, because yeah, if we just build some houses around this city centre that I've got down here, that potentially could be worth a lot more. And also, the circus and those houses I was just discussing. And okay, the circus also wants to be nearby to houses and taverns. So, right, this could be the fun side of town over here, potentially. So yeah, tavern wants to go here. And then you want to go right next to it. So yeah, we see houses expanding in this direction and out onto the plateau. Oh, and finally, it's my older flipping friends. Which, yes, has a base score of 15, thanks to the fact that was the score I got it to in the previous instance. Though, now as a result of that, we could go significantly flipping higher. And that means, on the next island, the next one's going to be worth even more. There we go, up to 28, lovely. So slappy you down. Now, yes, on the next island, that's going to be worth even more. Tragically, however, yes, I think we're now coming up on the limits of my urban planning, because we've just drawn a market, which wants to be nearby to the warehouse, but also fishers, and the city centre, and masons, meaning, in theory, there would be an amazing market dotted about here, but I'm not sure we've quite got space for it round these parts. Though we could still do a pretty decent 56 right over here, just slapping it next to, yeah, all those houses, and also within range of the temple. So okay, as night falls here, we are definitely looking dicey for the next level up. So, despite the lack of houses, yeah, we need to put down a tavern right here, which is worth a good number of points. We've got that circus we discussed previously, which is not generating anywhere near as much as I would have liked it to. We might be able to slip a good park in somewhere, though no, parks can't go on, yeah, this wooden surface. That's the problem with them. Meaning it's pretty much down to, yes, our one new building I just drew. The Hermitage. So this one is, yeah, all about nature. Parks and fountains would do the job, but yeah, just flowers and trees and whatnot, that works well too. So, okay. There's a bunch of lovely flowers around here, and also, oh, that is just enough. Right here, bloody hell, we are hanging on by the skin of our teeth right now. It's another cocky temple. Okay, well obviously I'll be taking another temple because, John, temples require very significant planning. This is literally going to cost me points, so, okay, I may have got a bit overexcited by the temple and made a terrible decision, and now we're all going to die. Yeah, I think the best temple we've got is, minus 32. That's literally all we could do there, so. Okay. Let's just work under the assumption that everybody was happy with this religion over here. This new religion by the circus with clown priests and whatnot. Not so well liked. And that there broadly is Islanders' New Shores and... okay, at this point obviously you could move on, get a new island, build something even bigger and more sexy, but to my mind these moments right here, these are the moments that make this game very special. Where you're done building your society, you just get to mosey round and admire it, play with the new photo mode, make it the time of day that you think is most appealing. Oh yeah, a dawn, with the light still on, but just a hint of orange dawn light. Oh yeah, this game is just gorgeous and relaxing and a worthy successor to a fantastic original. So, okay, we'll leave things off there, but do not be surprised in the slightest if at some point I'm in the mood for a relaxing chill live stream and we crank this out just as we did for the original. But yes indeed, Islanders New Shores, well worth a look-see I'd say. Not quite out just yet at the moment this video is released. It's coming out tomorrow, July the 10th, available on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo Switch, and as I say, so worth a look-see. I love the original, I love this too, and oh yeah, I would not be surprised in the slightest if we saw it coming back in future as well. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been the delightful Islanders New Shores. Thank you very much, and goodbye.